Hi guys, I actually realized that I never filmed an outro or an intro for this video actually. So while I was editing, I was just like, let me quickly grab my camera and shoot an intro and an outro. So I guess this is the intro. Thank you so much for joining me once again. And on this week's video, I basically have this credenza. That's literally the joke around the house because I refer to it as a credenza, and it's basically like a sideboard or TV unit or whatever you want to call it. It was basically one that I bought from, I think on Gumtree actually, from this other old lady, and didn't really like the color. But I mean, I didn't mind it at the time because it was quite like, I think I got it like 800 Rand or something. And obviously always wanted to convert it into either a black or a white color. And a lot of the color in our apartment currently is like, the walls are very gray. I don't know if you can see right behind me. And I thought that maybe white would be a better fit because the trim around the walls of our house are in the color white. So it kind of turned out a lot more whiter than I wanted, but I think I'm actually quite happy with it because it literally just goes very well with like the trim around the ceiling as well as the side paneling around the wall. So I basically take you guys through the process of painting and how I basically turned it from brown and drab to white and amazing. And if you want to watch another video that I've shot in the past where I basically painted kitchen cabinets, so I'm a little bit familiar with like painting furniture. I mean, I'm not a pro at all, but I am definitely learning a lot and I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit. I do have another DIY where I'll be painting another table or another piece of furniture rather. So keep a look out for that. It's going to be a very short one because it's literally just like a dining table. So I hope you enjoy this video and thank you so much for joining once again. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Without wasting any further time, here is this week's video.
Okay guys, so here I'm quickly prepping my space. So making sure that I don't get any paint on the floor, even though I can actually clean it up with a thinness, but it's a lot of work, so I'd rather not spill or mess or have any paint drip. So I'm just putting some newspaper and then I'll have like black bags as well. But in hindsight, actually I realized that I should have put like, black bags at the bottom and then a cloth over the black bags, because what I realized is that the paint ended up spilling or dripping on the paper, which got stuck on the legs. I was able to remove it though, but then just like a heads up or FYI, if you basically working on prep space, is to rather use a cloth, because then the cloth won't necessarily stick or leave marks on the piece of furniture as you go along. And then what I did is I got everything out of the cupboard, or cabinet, or credenza, or TV unit, or sideboard, whatever you want to call it. I basically took off the doors, and these were quite easy to take off. I was initially going to paint those as well and then put them back, but then after taking them out, I realized that it actually looks so much better without the doors because I can see the shelves nicely. I kind of put onto the shelves will be on display, which I really think is really nice. Doors made it look a little bit bulkier, whereas without the doors it looks a lot more modern, a lot more clean, and just perfect the way that it is. So I left the doors off. And then I'm sanding it. I thought of sand it down a little bit so that you didn't see the holes, but actually I realized that the sandpaper that I had was a little bit too rough, so it was basically scratching and ruining the actual unit. So maybe it's better to just get like fine sandpaper that's not as rough as the one that I used, but it was still fine in the end, because then I just cleaned it, cleared everything that was in there, and then wiped it down with a damp cloth, and then I just didn't sand like the roughage. I just left it as is and painted over it which would have been nice if I had actually done the sanding, but I didn't have the perfect grit sandpaper in terms of like the roughage, so I just let it be and remove the other door, and yeah. If you're working with a heavier, much bigger unit, it's always better to maybe have somebody to help you. I didn't have anyone to help me here, so I just dragged it, which is obviously not ideal because I felt so bad for the guys below me as I was dragging it across the room, but it was only just for the few seconds, and then after that there was no movement whatsoever, so I wasn't basically making a noise for them downstairs. But that screeching sound initially was a little annoying, but it was just for a few seconds, like I said. So make sure you always considerate of your neighbors if you live in an apartment block like I do, and not like drag and move furniture around. Just get somebody to help you lift it up and move it across. And there was a big massive hole on the back side of the unit. So what I did is I filled that with a crack filler. I had some crack filler that I used for another DIY. So I used that and just to fill the holes, and then I sanded it over just to make sure that it's smooth and even as the rest of the credenza. I love that word.
Guys, now I don't actually know a lot about brushes, but I have to say that I've used these before, called Ivory. I bought them at Pick n Pay before, but this time I bought them at, I think, Borders Warehouse for 54 Rand for a pack of 4. I was like 3. Yeah, like I don't really know much about brushes, I'm still learning, but I do have to say that these do not, the hair doesn't like come off, so you literally, well, it doesn't come off as much as other brushes that I've used in the past. I don't want to say 100% sure that they don't come off, but they call 100% synthetic filament. I don't know what that means, but if anybody knows a lot about brushes and like the best brushes to use, please do drop a comment down below. As I've said, these are called Millennium Ivory, and like I said, they are 4 for a pack. They're 54 Rand for a pack of 4. No, I lie. I cannot count. Pack of 3. So the big one, the medium one, and a small one. This one will probably help in like little nooks and crannies, and then this one is the one that I'll basically use to apply the primer. Apparently there's different brushes for different paints, different whatever, I don't know, but I'm just going to use this because this is what I have. Cool. Let's get started on this baby.
Now, there's no rhyme or reason as to how you should apply primer. It shouldn't be a perfect job because you're going to be painting over it anyway. So I just used some brush strokes that were imperfect, and that's basically the kind of way that I continued, just like going against the grain or sideways, left and right, up and down.
Do you guys see what I meant with regards to the paintbrush that doesn't leave any, like there's not a single fiber here, not a single piece of brush hair, so it literally doesn't shed, as you can see. So I'm going to put a top coat, so I'm going to put a second coat now. From the videos I've watched previously about painting furniture is that it's always better to sand in between the coats of primer so that you get like a nice finish at the end. So I'm gonna I think I'm actually gonna just do a second coat on the dry part at the top, and then the insides are still drying because I just finished these bottom sections. So I'm just going to do the top because that's what I started with initially, but I'm not going to sand it. I think I'll just try without sanding it, and then maybe I'll sand it after the second coat of paint. Sand, just like a light sand, guys, not like trying to get rid of the primer, just like lightly sand it so that you get like rid of, you know, stuff like, I don't know if you can see that, like any sort of like paint that has dried in weird sections and it's creating like little bumps. So you want to just make sure that everything is smooth. Cool.
And I continued working on it the whole night. I applied the first coat of paint after the primer had dried. So how long, I can't really remember how long I waited for the primer to dry, but I do think that I basically gave it maybe like a full day because I wanted to make sure that it's dry. I didn't wait like a few hours and then, you know, paint over it. I waited like, I think I did this over like a 3-4 day period.
But we live and we learn. Let me try and get this figured out, guys, and sorted. It is probably almost 10 o'clock. It's probably almost 10 o'clock now. And you won't believe what I did. I forgot to remove the drawer after I finished adding the primer. And now it's stuck. Check this out. It's literally not opening. So I don't know what plan I have. I've got this screwdriver here. I'm going to try and wiggle the sides and the bottom and see if I'm able to get it out. But anyway, this is what it's looking like so far. I've added a top coat of white paint, and then I'm going to let that dry overnight, and then I'm just going to add another coat, well, not another coat, but like the first coat of white paint on top of the primer in the shelves and the drawer once I'm able to get it out and put it to the side. And then that's what I'm going to do the rest of the night, and then we'll wait for it to dry, and then hopefully tomorrow is Monday, I'm able to continue and paint this baby until it's finished. And then I need to get a sealer actually to paint over it, like a clear coat sealer, so that I can lock that paint in so that it doesn't scratch. But I must make sure that it's a matte like sealer thing, top coat, whatever, so that it doesn't give that shine. But happy days, that is tomorrow's problem. This drawer is gonna be tomorrow's problem. I'm just gonna continue doing what I do, painting the rest of this, and then I'll try and get it. Actually no, I should start with it, because if I need to use a screwdriver, then I might just scratch the paint. Oh, guys, okay. Where's the screw? Oh, yeah. Oh, that was the paint. It's not dry. Oh, whatever. Okay. Cool guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That was so therapeutic and so much fun to do. I have a little bit of piece, you have some paint, have some brushes, and I have a little piece of furniture lying around the house that you want to reinvent and spruce up a little bit. I would definitely recommend doing this, but like do as much research as you possibly can, because I also did the same. There's a lot of YouTube channels where people are painting cabinets and furniture and all sorts of things, so do some research. Also, you got like your builder's warehouse and your micas and your all sorts of hardware stores that are basically there to help and assist you with whatever questions that you may have. Thank you so much again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know I don't know what you like the most about the video. Keep a lookout for more videos. I've got so many exciting videos, so many pieces of content, and also do check out my Instagram page for more DIY decor content. I do share a lot of sneak peeks and a lot of sort of like content that is upcoming on my YouTube channel Instagram page, which is DIY Decor with Lorna. And then if you just want a little bit of lifestyle and wine, food and fashion content, then do follow my personal page, which is at Lawns Kalimashi, but I'll leave all the details down in the comments below or somewhere on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate the support, the love, and we're on 1,200 followers. I can't believe it. And we're on 150 followers on the Instagram page. I actually do need to do a giveaway for 1,000 subscribers on here, because I actually never got to doing that. So I think there's a potential giveaway coming, I think pretty soon in the next few weeks. So do keep a lookout for that and stay tuned for more DIY and home decor content. I love you guys so much.